give it the haggis. If you're not into it, like, what, you know, I don't.
I'm gonna read the.
If you don't want, like, if you're gonna throw it away, like, I might as well. I don't. I'm not like a haggis freak or anything. But it's just like you just didn't seem thrilled, and like, whatever. I can do it. Anyway. Pete has instructed me to kill some time before our next act, so I'm going to give you guys a little something. First thing I want to say is I'm so glad that there are so many of you here right now. Like, I'm really glad to see that we packed out this room, mostly because I need to borrow some money. Sorry, no, I'm not borrowing money. I've been instructed not to describe it that way. It's actually an investment opportunity for you all. All right? An investment opportunity. All right. Oh, I'll tell you. Thank you for asking. I was waiting. I wouldn't have said anything otherwise. No, just kidding. So I am actually starting a business, guys. Yep, it's a business. It's an app. It's a dating app. Thank you. It's called Oedipal Arrangements. Basically what it is we set up widows on blind dates with the men who killed their husbands. Thank you. The WILF market is untapped. Someone, me particularly, is going to get in there and get some of that money. All right, okay. Have you guys ever changed the lock screens on your phone? Have you ever done that? I did it recently. I don't usually do it, but I learned that when you do it, if you hold your thumb right here, and of course it's not working, it'll pop back, and you can switch back to your old lock screen like that. It's really easy. It's sort of a neat trick, but I was trying to figure out, who is that for? You know? The only people that need to change their lock screens that quickly are men with second families. You know, like imagine you're at a barbecue and you look down, you're like, oh shit, wrong kids. Don't worry, Tim Cook's got you. Just hold your thumb, pop it back and swipe. Crisis averted. Inevitable revelation delayed. Cheating is wrong, guys. I'm proud to say I've never cheated on my girlfriend. I'm just waiting for the right person to come along. I wanted to end on something more likable than that, but it is what it is. Coming up, we have Lee Kostrinsky. Lee Kostrinsky's short stories and poems have been published in multiple literary publications. He also has 3 books of poetry, including 2 published last year. Lee is also a guitarist, bassist, songwriter, and was the former co-owner of Small's Jazz Club in the West Village of New York City. Everybody, give it up for Lee Kostrinsky. He's also a nice guy.
Thank you, Pete. Just show it doesn't work. They planned the immersive Famous Poets experience where little kids can run around and pick their noses, climbing on some of the great poets beaming from 50-foot monitors in their underwear. Dates can mingle, you all can mingle, hold hands and fondle under shotgun blasts. Families can enjoy manic depression, intoxicated and morose, little crooked hanging cartoons. Compulsive gamblers like me, displays will light up their best figures, while patrons buy fake love letter sucking candies. Bloated balloons will be on special at the redundant and finished food court, piled in with the overrated souvenir scarves and berated beat-to-hell berets, and the pompous higher educational hub. Eventually, prematurely, the lights would go out from the flash storms from the angry god who didn't get his grant. Then floods and electrical shorts will cause plague, and first responders will save no victims, no fans, no readers in any audience. Then as the large screens go to snow before they're being hacked with porn and the horse races, no one, no soul in their right mind would pay to come anymore. It's a complete failure, a total failure, a waste of time and money and existence, 0, 0, 0 stars. They would eventually replace the immersive famous poets experience with the Van Gogh one going around. Anything to make things worse.
Yeah.
Calling cards came easy then. Used to get jacked up calling cards, numbers off the walls in the rehearsal rooms. Us roommates, bandmates, we would dial the sex lines at NYC, circa 1989. We would laugh off our little heads as we put on different voices. Once this other guy on the party line from somewhere down south felt neglected as we hogged the sex ladies' time. He suddenly said in a long drawl, "What about my dick?" We laughed as the stone jerk-offs we were and slammed down the receiver. Hysterical to this day now. When standing, waiting in line on hold with customer service, waiting for my takeout, wanting more of anything I'm not getting my fair share of, I wait. I wait if someone else is getting it first. I wait some more. I pause, and then I say it with the full intention of not being ignored, just like the Southern guy did on the party line, circa 1989. What about my dick? It is perfect for any occasion while ordering, say, a deli meat, kind of like as the name on my eternal calling card would say, 777777, 666666. What about my dick? If there ever was a heaven for free calling cards, I hope all of them are there now, holding on. It's hard dialing it in now, getting old.
Yeah.
I was listening by mistake to New York Public Radio today. A man was serious in his calling. He wanted us to all transition to a bug protein diet. I was alone at the computer, so I pointed my finger at my ear and drew a circle around it. I started laughing and cracking up again. The caller actually had a voice like the victim guy stuck in the spider web in Vincent Price's The Fly, 1958. Help me! Help me! So here are all the appropriate hand gestures according to the psychology, using only one hand. And you can follow me along, I might fuck them up. Approximation, bang bang or pistol, a beckoning sign, benediction and blessing, biting one's thumb, blah blah. Check please, clenched fist, Clinton thumb, crossed fingers, cuckoo sign, Kerwin hand signs, the fungool, fig sign, finger beside the nose, finger snap, hook'em horns, horns, how sad. I love you sign, knocking on wood, loser sign, middle finger, money sign, palm of hand. Okay, patience. Pointing, pound fist, raising a hand, salute, shaka, similar gestures, thanks. 3 middle fingers, thumbing the nose, thumbs up, thumbs down, tisk tisk, V sign, my favorite, open salute, wanker, waving, and whatever McDonald's worker sign. That's all right. So the cockroach brought us all here. The larvae crawling around inside the protein building blocks that bring on the chocolate ant addictions of the future. When the guy hung up, my finger was still spinning around as he probably crawled away down his building stairs, then down the city streets, hands behind his back, a hungry lunatic looking for change. Kafka over fucking head. It's the Preakness today, the second jewel in the Triple Crown. So this is from my first book, Why Pat Cooks. To watch his last horse. To watch his last horse beat that thing aroused Chalk Charlie, that mother, and he kept right on coming and became everything that was never had. And he felt like everything was coming to him at last. This last horse had some rocket in his ass. And when the finish line finally came, he jumped over a garbage can and left this blue marble for a few seconds and thought of no worries, spreading his arms out wide. And then with a deep gasp, he gave in to the half-naked ass of Mother Mary and the baby JC in front of him. And then no more winners or losers in this operation. He closed with a special one. Wish You Were Here, the ska version, hardcore version. Dedicated, heartfelt shout out to the one and only, the Ruth, the Gator, the Ginsburg, the notorious MP3. Wait, you should have heard him before. He played a boot stomping with drum machine trigger. I didn't even think that was possible. Like eating milk with mustard version of Hallelujah, the jazz, rap, trap, drill verse version. Went out to Richard Lewis, or was it to Prince, or maybe Roger Corman, and of course all the victims, every single one of them, everywhere, all of them, you, everyone, every single victim. He said that Joan, his beautiful, love supreme artist, had given him the greatest, amazing compliment after the show. She said it was death-defying, rattled everybody from the rafters. He wanted to bring back the backup singers, but they had moved on. They weren't even in the city no more. And how would he pay them with the congestion now? They quit, actually. When someone in the audience had asked, "Who are the mosquitoes?" They were dressed as fairies. They weren't mosquitoes, thank you. And they sung incredible harmonies with these incredible wings that Joan had designed from a Gnostic maze pattern. But the whole thing had bursted from the seams. The fucking critics kept seeping out of the rafters. He would encore with Revolution. Not number 9, laugh out loud, but the flamenco speedcore version. Y'all know that one? And he would tuck in his rainbow keffiyeh and put his skull ring fist in the air and slow things way down. He thanked the sound man, the light people. He chased the comedians home. And he thanked everyone for bringing the house lights again, way down, until they hummed. Till they hummed heavy energy, a vibe so low from a solo death-defying, fervid, rattling buzz inside him. If you ever have a chance to go to hell and come back in the bottom of your drink fizz before you nod off, well, don't be a victim. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's called The Tale of Brave Denny, and it goes back to New Jersey when I was a boy. We needed a special bass player. We were 15, and our out-to-lunch hermit guitar teacher said, "What about my cousin Denny?" Denny did not go to any school. He may have been 19, part Lenape, Italian, Jew, Gypsy. I think he was 23. He could have been 100 in abandoned dog years. He wore all black in 1982. His one leg was shorter than his original Hofner Beetle bass, and the dandruff hung heavily off his bass clef. But Denny could play the shit. As his special shoes lifted him off the ground and things got lit. Riffs from the Jam, the Clash of original songs against mine, Cream, The Who, Hot Tuna, Spirit, Canned Heat. We skipped school so he could plan his journey to come over through the woods. We were told he usually didn't come out in the day. He takes good care of his mother, our guitar teacher would say. He's as hip as you get, but in a special kind of way. I'll ask him, but he can play. He's made up of a strange sandwich meat, but he's sweet. He's a little off, but he's always on time. Denny was quiet, everything you'd expect. He said he took an unknown route over the swamp, past the pit, the path between the water tower. There were no dogs tied up, no people. Denny plugged in and played. He dropped into a notch and he swayed to his left, his Beatle haircut to the right, and the groove and his club fist never got in the way. We played out of the body loud, kind of looking at one another, swaying with him to this new punk thing. We eventually stopped on a dime, sounding almost too good. He needed to stop and lean on the amp before he blew away. When he left, he didn't seem interested, unless we could rehearse late at night, and we played some Beefheart. What's that, I said. It was overcast, but sunny that day. There was silence all around, Shasta cans on the ground. Then I think I heard a beep. I think he beeped. He made a beep and a low growl. We heard some sort of sound. He was for sure different. as his Newport-stained fingers pointed to the backyard to get a smoke. Sounds different. Don't do drugs. But I got things going on. It's complex. He then took his old heavy latch case and split down the back hill. It almost pulled him all the way down as he limped away. Branches broke, never to be heard from again. The unknown paths knew he was on the way. So recently I just plugged in and Danny came into my head. Beatles and Beefheart, strange, odd beeping from a loose signal. Just like a beautiful sonic strawberry and liver sandwich. This one's for Matt. It's called There Seems to Be Wax in My Cappuccino. The windows are spring wide open. I was down, but Zappa is on. Florentine Pagan, advanced romance. The breeze blows through and blows up miracles, memories of El Monte. Even though I had cheese doodles, low fat, and have grapefruit now and have just a little bit of ice water, but here it comes, gearing me up. I met Zappa once as a teenage busboy, Limelight, 87. I told this story many times and I will tell it again. Jazz from hell. And tell it always, pajama people. Blowing too. Just me and Zappa. Early VIP room. And this is true. He asked me to get a cappuccino. They, the corner restaurant, locks around the clock. Maybe accidentally at the time, dumb all over, put it in a wax-like soda cup. Zappa looked at it. He was wearing a suit and tie. I saw his profile scrunched, his nose. Then I saw a halo over his head as he said, "There seems to be wax in my cappuccino." I hesitated, but I took off for a second into an odd moment of enlightenment. Heaven apologies all around, like peaches in regalia. Young Marquis son's chicken. Shit, in my mind's Frank's words still fly. Zappa just told little me, Lee, there seems to be wax in my cappuccino. The windows can't get any more open this fine spring day. Cheese doodles, low fat, I know, I said, all over my fingers. Fingers now in their late 50s. I was down today, I was. But now I'm going to play the solo to Zombie Woof. Or at least try while melting away. Because the torture never stops. It never stops.
Yeah.
This is a new one. It's called Debbie of the East. With her sparkle silver Stratocaster, with her long good witch hair, amber agnostic amulets hanging over her liberated laughs, she had run not far, but as fast as she could west from the Hasidic life, while still young. She escaped into the streets of unorthodox Manhattan, working odd jobs, finally playing in the sacrilegious bands. She changed her name, tattooed away their rules and oppressions, on her hips and arms, guardian fairies and goddesses. With her basic chord knowledge and her beautiful Debbie Harmony front man voice, she didn't let on completely how they wigged her and taught her only traditions that squeezed her soul dry of juices of life. Exodus was eating all of it, art, and it was great now, so amazingly in the East Village. And so with her Call Me Debbie twirl, with her troublemaker tunics, nervous sunflower smiles, her boho bags under her heavy former bong-fused Batsheva mascara, she split in a used Chevy Impala wagon trunk. She loved now, talking all night, every night about everything under the sun. Music, not marriage, not menstruation. No more memories of the manly Messiah that put her in her place without meaning. Seeing private parts in the wild, wow, taking them in, male and female, into her being, when she wanted, who she wanted, after any late Friday night gig. With her bubba matzah blue eyes, one always vigilant, watching over for the East. Last exit will always be the Williamsburg, the Brooklyn, and this other eye up at the Catskills, because they could come from the north. So she protected herself with Debbie witch spells, an adopted black male cat named Shikakana. One day, Debbie mentioned after a band rehearsal to me, after a few beers, that she had covered her face, looked way down into the dark palms for years, doing prayers on, of all things, Black Sabbath. Right. She shook and she cried terribly, silently, for her family she would miss. Then the candle shadows showed her the light. Her light came blaring through, and the strength, courage, it was crazy. She grabbed an arm and a leg, and she stretched it with a great Debbie energy behind her long pale neck in a yoga pose. One she would have been punished horribly for, in a life now gone. Then she continued with only part of the rest of the story. As she nervously laughed, as she took a strong hold, as far away as she could get from the traditions of old, a new inner kinder voice that wailed, let me Debbie go. Got a couple of books here. This is from Holy Men and Imbeciles, Seen Created Through Dirty Glasses. There's licensed in some other profession despite the blues and why Pat cooks. If I can shamelessly say, I want it. This is my last one. This is for all the religions out there. It's called Not Saying Much. The Pope of all peeps wrote a small poem today called Elegant Demon, that which works in people who have a rigid, holier-than-thou way of living. We are in great danger. He does not make a loud entrance, but comes with flowers in his hand. Other works include 15 ailments of the curia, terrorism of gossip, and spiritual dementia. He has a great gig and lots of gold to fund it. It's okay. Keep your pious poem panties on, because the chief rabbi jammed this verse today. The wisest rule, investment. Others are selling buy. Others are buying sell. We do the opposite, of course. When everyone is buying, we assume that we know something. We don't, so we buy. Then people start selling, panic sets in, we sell to, thank you. The other works include Science to Spou's Purpose, Tenor of Relationships, and Chatting People Face to Face. He has a great gig and lots of gold to fund it. The head Muslim cleric chirped in too with his prose, but I can't read it and it can't be published. He has a great gig and lots of gold to defend it. The leading Buddhist monk wrote this whole thing out and then he destroyed it before tea time. He has a great gig and a lot of nothing to show for it. The cat, my cat, she started staring at me as I paraphrased these leaders from her cat tree hole. She sees something clearly reflecting off the window glass, but she's not stupid. Her glowing golden eyes are completely sane. We have a great gig and a lot of cheap, sacred work to prove it.
Kostrinsky.